Hi, I'm Colleen Derrick, a financial planner with Swaggers Insurance. Welcome to January 2022. Wow, we made it. But I don't think we made it in the way we thought we were going to. How many of us back at the beginning of 2021 thought, oh my goodness, we made it through the worst of the pandemic. Okay, brighter, better things for 2021. And how many of us really thought that we would still be now experiencing the resurgence of an Omicron variant in 2022? So we know we're not fortune tellers. Good for us. Uncertainty, spice of life, right? Here's the thing. We can transition and navigate transitions well when we are flexible and when we really understand the core of who we are. So welcome to the January 4-week mini course, My Story, Your Story, looking in, up, back, and all around. So whether you're kicking and screaming into the new year or whether you're celebrating and full of energy and enthusiasm, we're going to go back to a couple of key points that will help you do this transition well and have a great chance of a positive growth opportunity and joyful experiences in 2022. So transitioning from one year to another can be a powerful leveraging of momentum, or it can also be a rebirth in a new direction if you execute it well. So let's do that. Let's commit to doing this transition well. Week number 1, look in and see. Introspection. Week number 2, we're going to look up and envision. Where are we going? Week number 3, we're going to look back and assess. They say hindsight's 2020. Well, that's because we can look behind and there's this treasure trove of experiences that we can see with such clarity of the perspective of hindsight. And week number 4, look around and consider. One of the key takeaways, I think, from the COVID experience is that we are not alone. We don't have to be alone. Isolation doesn't have to mean alone or separate. So we have seen amazing creativity in people, enabling us the ability to connect while being isolated. What an incredible shift in our culture. Looking around, seeing who is around you and considering them, that is powerfully important. And again, I think that's been one of the greatest takeaways from COVID for so many people is the value of those around us and incorporating them in our lives. Yes, we talked about this in some of our previous sessions, so you're probably getting familiar with the fact that being a team is high on my priority list, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it matters for you. It matters for your well-being, for your success, and for your contentment, peace, and joy. Look in. Week number 1, introspection. Look in with kindness. Before you just dive in there, this is a good time maybe to be alone in a safe space, in a comfortable space. Settle in. If you've got something, to refresh yourself with, maybe a refreshing drink or warm, cozy tea, maybe a nice blanket. Sure you've got some head prop and support, because we're going to be doing something that very few people are comfortable with, and that's actually looking inside to see who you are. And maybe you have done that before and you know who you are, but you haven't visited yourself for a while. Well, it's time to reunite and reconnect. When you look inside yourself, please frame your heart with kindness. Frame your mind, releasing expectations, and just come. Just come and spend that time. Don't try to rush this. We want to know who you see when you look in. Do you recognize yourself? Are you surprised by some of the things you see about yourself? Are you disappointed? Are you excited? Maybe do a little bit of a journey and feel some of those feelings and maybe see where they're coming from. Again, this is not necessarily a time to resolve anything or do anything. We're looking and seeing, we're observing with kindness. When you look at yourself and your heart and the core of who you are, what matters to you? There are a lot of things that I care about, but there are only a handful of things that really matter because we only have room for so much. I only have so much energy to care. Things that I really honestly care about that matter to me is loving other people well, being committed and faithful. It matters to me that I experience joy and that I give joy, that I am a blessing to others and I allow others to be a blessing to me. What matters to you? And what do you need? We all have basic needs. We know there's the hierarchy of needs: food, shelter, clothing, and love, affection, interaction with others, community. Those are our basic essential needs. What does that look like for you? What are your personal, individual, specific needs? And how can you lovingly and wisely meet your needs? If you do this, you are going to have a fantastic foundation for success in transitioning. Because the rest of the stuff, you can give or take, it can ebb and flow, but you know who you are, you know what matters to you, and you know what you need, and you know how you're going to meet those needs. When we don't have our needs met, look at the Snickers bar commercial. Hangry? Snickers really satisfies. When our needs are satisfied, we tend to be, happier for one, more patient and tolerant, but we also have the ability to focus. When I'm working with little people, if I feed them and we do running around the room or jumping up and down or crawling under chairs, we meet their needs. It's amazing how well they're able to focus after that. Set yourself up for success. Meet your needs so that you can focus on doing your life well. The other thing I want to really tackle and have you think about and encourage you to be brave is to be honest with yourself. When I make a New Year's resolution and I actually want it to be successful because it's actually my goal, not wishful thinking, I need it to reflect who I am. I am not going to make a New Year's resolution to outperform my son on a speed run in Borderlands. That's him. Those are his interests. Those are things that matter to his life. That's not reflecting of who I am. It doesn't reflect my values. It doesn't reflect my temperament or my joys. So I'm not going to set that New Year's resolution. Is that because I don't think I can do it? Well, I don't know. I think I'm pretty smart and I've got good hand-eye coordination and a good memory. So maybe I could be competitive if I put a lot of time and effort into it, but I know I'm not going to because I just don't want to. It's like, well, a lot of us need to set resolutions, Colleen, that we don't want to do, but they're good for us. You're right. That's true. But do you want to be putting your effort into something that's good for you that you're not going to accomplish and be able to actually make stick and follow through on? Or would you rather be wise? Would you rather make some goals that are good for you, that also reflect who you are, so you have a decent chance of succeeding with them? So I challenge you to be honest with yourself. Ensure that you know who you are, what matters to you, what you need, and use that as the foundation for moving forward in 2022 when you're setting your goals, when you're fleshing out your steps on how to accomplish them, when you're building your team, because those are things that are pivotal to letting this be a launch and not a flop. I hope that you get some value out of this, that you can really take the time to be honest with yourself, to be kind with yourself, and to discover who you are. Because when I'm working with somebody as a financial planner, I appreciate you bringing that to the table. It means that we are both bringing our best, and it is going to probably create something fantastic, useful and successful and productive. When we don't take the time to do that, then it's often frustrating, not successful, and then we get discouraged and we don't want to try again. So it is important that you set yourself up when you're transitioning from one space to the next, from one year to the next, that you set yourself up for some successes initially so that you get excited, that you build momentum, and that you are motivated. My story, I'm an organized person who is absolutely passionate about building a framework for your money to free your heart from greed and fear so that you may experience peace and contentment and receive love and give love. What's your story?